we're dealing with changing our mindset right now. Changing your mindset. When you're coming into the university and you're coming into knowledge of this information, the biggest thing is changing your mindset. You got to be willing to change how you look at things. So let's talk about why we're getting into this, because I spoke about how when you're willing to give with love, the universe doesn't care who you're giving it to or why. But what you've got to start doing now is looking at things from a different way. Yes, you can pay off all of these things with a financial instrument, but you got to remember, if you're not putting out, then you're not getting back. If you're not putting out, then you're not getting back. And I told you about these two people who I know. They know these codes, statutes, and ordinance just as well as I do, if not better. And they try to use them from time to time. But they stay broke because they're so dependent on, oh, I'm going to get this because I already got to trust, that they're working from a stance of scarcity as opposed to giving and abundance. So how does this work? Let's talk about how this works. Now, from a universal standpoint, we've already talked about when you give, you receive. If you want it, you must give it away. If you want it, you must give it away. If you want love, if you want money, if you want cars, if you want these other things, give it away. And by law, the universe must return it to you, as long as you're giving it out with love. Now, for those of you all, once again, who have your Bibles, you'll hear it tenfold. Tenfold. It could be more than that, depending on your energy when you give, but tenfold. Now, I need to talk about from the legal side. From the legal side, we know, those of us who've studied, there is no money. There is no money. So legally, we're not supposed to be paying anything. But also legally, if we do put out a Federal Reserve note, we're supposed to get them back dollar for dollar. Dollar for dollar, meaning everything you put out is supposed to come back to you legally. Now it's coming back to you spiritually if you put it out with love, but legally, dollar for dollar. Well, for us, we can do it 2 times the dollar at least. You've heard people say that legally they can do it 10 times, because really, whenever you create a trust or any kind of financial instrument, that thing is valued at $5 million. $5 million. You know how you go and you sign your receipts when you paying a credit card, and you have to sign that little receipt that they're giving you? That thing is way more valuable than the amount of money on that ticket. It's way more valuable. So here's my point, and I want you to understand this. Every time you sign your name, or every time you make a purchase, there's money coming from your estate, and you can request that as well. And you'll hear people say 10 times, all right, and more. But I'm letting you know that for us, we only do what we can show proof of. So let's just say right now, we can show proof of 2 times for each dollar. Some of you all have heard about the W-9 form. So pay attention to what I'm saying, because now I'm getting into the legal side. I'm giving you some little information tidbits, and you can take it and use it. And when you're doing your studying, it can enhance what you're doing already. All right. So this is why I'm saying to you to think differently when you put money out. Don't think of it as, darn, I got to pay for this and I got to pay for that. No. Show gratitude when you put it out. This is why. With that W-9, if you are paying somebody more than $400, by law, they have to give you an EIN number. By law. So what happens is when you do anything with them and it costs $400 or more, they have to give you an EIN, because once again, you're supposed to get that money back dollar for dollar. Now, when you're using your credit or debit card, that's showing proof of the fact that there was a transaction, and y'all need to start understanding all those transaction numbers. Those are financial instruments. All those transaction numbers are financial instruments. And when that thing goes through your bank, you're going to have one transaction number for this bank, and you're going to have another transaction number from the company where you purchased it. So watch this now. If I've paid this company $400 throughout the year or one time, it doesn't matter, but if I paid them $400 or more, I'm going to get a transaction number from the bank. That's one financial instrument. And I'm going to get a transaction number from that organization or corporation. That's another financial instrument. That's 400 here and 400 here. And I'm claiming both of them. That's $800. Anybody paying attention to what I'm saying? Can anybody hear me? Is this thing on? I just said I'm getting 400 here from the bank statement or the bank transaction, and I'm getting another 400 here from what I paid to this corporation. I'm claiming both of them. So instead of getting $400 back, I'm getting $800 back. That's an investment where I just doubled my money in a year. You can't get that with the best IUD program. Some of all these little programs out here that tell you you can get 6% interest on your. I just told you about 200% interest. I just told you about 200% interest. So why do you want to go after the more expensive thing over here that, I could have got the $200 one. Because remember I told you about the W-9? If it's $400 or more, then you get an EIN. But if you cheap and you get the little 200, you're gonna get 100% return. But if that thing costs $400 or more, why get 200? So here, if I'm just cheap and I'm like, I'm gonna get $200, I won't get the cheap one. Give me that $200. Well, then I'm just gonna get $200 back. That's cool. That's 100% return. But if I'm just like, let me double that, and I get the 400 or even the more expensive one, the more expensive it is. Now I go from 1% return or 100% return to 200% return, because I changed my mindset, and I'm grateful. When I paid it out, when I paid this $600 out to this company, I'm just grateful that I have the resources to be able to do it. Thank you, universe. Thank you. Thank you for allowing me to invest. You have a different mindset. And then when I decide to go after, anything else dealing with the estate, because I put out money, the universe is going to return money to me. But if I've been, I ain't gonna, because they going to pay for everything, and they going to just take for everything. And then I get everything. I get the house. I get the whatever. But I don't have any money to pay for food. I don't have money to pay for gas, because I have been scarce and living in scarcity. Well, when you live like that, then the universe is going to return scarcity to you. Money is not going to find you when you operate in that type of energy.